Good morning, YouTube. It's morning here in sunny Florida. Today we're working on a 2013 Expedition, and we're doing a tune-up. We'll call it a tune-up. We're doing the coils and the spark plugs on the vehicle. So I thought I'd do this vehicle since it's not an ordinary, easy spark plug change because of the depth of where they're at and the size of the spark plug socket and a couple other things that kind of need to be done. So I've already done one of them, and I'm going to stop and go on the video because I need two hands to do it, and you'll need two hands to do it. So I'm going to turn the camera around, and this is the vehicle, as you can see, and I'm going to back it up there, and then we'll go back in. And the engine, of course, is here, one of those TRITON 3 valves. I know a lot of people scoff this engine, but I got to tell you, this thing runs like a wristwatch. And 85 on the dial, and it wasn't really taking care of much, this car, so I've done some restoration to it, and but I'm going to keep it. So I decided to do this. The spark plugs that are actually in there don't look too bad, and I'll just I took one out already just to kind of show you. About the spark plug here is that it's an odd size. What I mean by odd size, it doesn't take a regular socket. You can either use 9/16 or you can use a 14 millimeter. So as I go along, I'm going to kind of talk about it. So we'll start talking about, since I did one already. Basically on this side, this is the passenger side, you're going to have some things in the way. Just kind of move them along, maybe take a few things out. You don't want to take any of the water lines out for the heater and stuff, and just leave those there. But the wiring, you're just going to have to move it around as you go. And then the other side, which I won't film, you got to remove the air box and so forth. So, just get a few things out of the way. Take your time, and one side one day, one the other. To me, there's no rush. I got a couple other cars to drive, or if you want to take an afternoon or morning like I'm doing and do it, that's up to you. But I don't rush, and obviously you don't want to break a spark plug in the hole. So the thing about these cars or this engine is that the spark plug is deep in the hole, basically through the valve cover. So I'm going to remove one, and I'm just going to go over a few tools. You can adjust as necessary. You want to disconnect the battery first for sure. Second thing you'll need is you need a ratchet or ratchets. I'm using two. You need a long extension. You need a shorter extension. You're going to need a 9/32 for the coil nut to come out. You may need another ratchet. I use a magnet to take out the spark plug. So the spark plug is just deep in the hole, so when you loosen it, it'll kind of want to come out of your thing. Now, the thing about it is also on this here, and I didn't mention a second ago, this is an odd size. Now, again, I'm using a 9/16, just regular socket, or you can use an equivalent. When you loosen, it's just going to drop back in the hole. That's why the magnet's necessary. And then I always use anti-seize on the threads of the spark plug, and I'm going to show you, put a little dielectric grease in the boot. Not a whole lot, just enough it'll slip down on the plug, because again, it's deep in the hole. You really got to push it down in there. So I'm going to cut the camera right now. I'll be back to you guys in a second. Okay, thanks. So we're going to begin by removing the clip here when I've already loosened it. So the clip's going to have to be removed. This is number 2. I'm sorry, I think on this car, this would be number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number 6 here. We're going to remove this clip. They have an end. You just take the end and you squeeze it, and it comes off. And then we're going to take the 9/32 on this nut right here. I don't know if you can see it, but that nut is a 9/32. We're going to loosen that. We're going to pull that boot out, and we'll cut the camera again, and we'll come back. Again, I need two hands to do it. So, but that's the base. Again, you have to work around things. There's no way around it, okay? So now we got the boot off here, and again, just one screw, one bolt to take it off. And you can see, and this is what we'll talk about the dial. I don't know if you can see right there, but somebody that did the tune-up on this put dielectric grease in there too. They don't look bad, but the car's got it's got some hesitation in there, right? A little bit, not too much, but these have probably been the original. I don't think these are regular Ford Motorcraft. I don't think anybody's touched this thing. I mean, I don't think so, because the way the car was, I don't think they took care of it. But we're going to go after the spark plug, and we're going to use or a shorter one, depending. But we should have enough room for the long one. And we're going to use the 9/16 on here to reach down and get the socket out. And then I'll grab it with the magnet. And again, I say the magnet's essential, man, because that spark plug is going to loose itself off there, and it's not going to want to come up. But this is a pretty powerful magnet. They're common on Amazon. You can get them. It's pretty powerful, man. It'll pull that spark plug, right up there. So those two tools there, to me, are necessary to, get the job done. You'll be there all day without that magnet trying to get that spark plug out of there. But anyway, I'm going to cut the camera again and be back. Okay, the spark plug we're going to use today on here, this is an Iridium Champion 9406. Quick, but this is the plug, Iridium, and then 9406 is the part number, and this is the plug right here. And I'm going to put some anti-seize on there before we put it in. I recommend that highly for everybody. Put the anti-seize on, thread it in, snug it down, and we'll go over the dielectric grease on there in a minute. All right, so this one here on number 2 or number 6 on the Ford. This one here, you can see here, this one here had some sand and dirt, and again, these spark plugs have been in, but boy, they still look good. I'd venture to say these got 50,000 or more on them, but it's been in there for a long time. I don't think these are the original, but they are Motorcraft Platinums. I don't know what the car originally came with, but they've been in there a while, and the electrode looks a little worn, but anyway, man, this one here was stuck. I actually had to get, and the ratchet I had wouldn't do it. Then I went to a longer ratchet with flex, and it was no good. And then I went to the breaker bar and had to do a couple of times. Almost got the PB blaster out on it, threw it down in the hole, but it came out. I don't like to use any liquid WD-40 penetrating or anything, and then unless it's 100% last resort with this thing. But this one here has been in there a while. But again, that's why you got to take your time, man. This one here was was a son of a gun. Again, I got the PB blaster out here, and then let's see, let's move this out of back a little bit. Okay, I don't like this. No, man, no. Okay, so this here, PB blaster, and I used my breaker bar. Here's the breaker bar at anyway, yeah. So I used the breaker bar here, it's a 3/8 one, a small one, and I got it out. But again, you got to be gentle but forceful. Can't be jerking it around and stuff. Anyway, we got them on. That's the way you're going to have to treat this thing. Each spark plug is going to be different. One comes out right away. The other one may not come out until it feels like it. One you might have to put PB blaster down in the hole. Hopefully we won't have to use anything. They'll come out with, no trouble. But that's basically it. And then the reverse is going to be the same. I'm going to put some, I'll cut back as to this in a minute. One thing I wanted to show is that how I put the spark plug in there. It's going to be a little unconventional, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the spark plug, and I don't put it on the socket. I'm going to take it and I'm just going to drop that sucker right in the hole. Drop it right in there. It can't go nowhere. And then I'm going to take the ratchet and I'm going to tighten it down. It can't go anywhere. So it'll be back in the hole here in a second. Now I dropped it in the hole, and now I tightened it down. literally in 30 seconds. And then now we're going to take a little bit of dielectric grease. We're going to get another boot here. And coil. I call them boot, coil. And okay, just want to show you, we're going to take I took a Q-tip and I cut it off. And I just used the non-swab end cardboard, whatever it is. And then I swabbed the inside of the boot with dielectric grease. That's going to make it slip down nice, and it'll bolt up real nice. Without the grease, it gets very sticky in there. So you put a little grease, and then now we're going to throw it in the hole, push it down, snug it up. Okay, dielectric grease. You can use anything you want. You don't like the Q-tip idea? One of those model brushes. You can use a wire brush, a little small one, whatever you want to use. All right, you can throw a whole fingerful in there. I don't care. Whatever you want to use. Okay, so now I have everything back in place. The boot coil is back in place and snugged up, and I wanted to show you one that's important, and you'll see it on the old ones when you take it off, is that when you put the coil on, there's a little like ridge in the valve cover. I don't know if you can see it here, but let me see if I can move this wire out of the way, but stupid camera. Anyway, there's a ridge there, and you got to make sure that the ridge on the coil is onto the right of that. Kind of locks it down there. Hard to see there, but I don't know if you can see on where the bolt is at. There's a ridge on the valve cover where it kind of locks it in over there. It's going to be to the right of it, on the outside of it. All right, but anyway, you see they're both done now. This one's done. This one's done. I'm going after number 3 and 4 over there. 6 and 7, or 7 and 8, whatever that is. That'll be it. It's not easy. It's easy, but you know, you got to take your time and deal with the wires. And once you do a couple, easy picking. All right, you guys have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.